And just like that, another year has gone by. Same place, different chair actually, different haircut, but time has passed by. And as usual, I'm excited for this one. Today is my birthday again, so I'm 25 in a couple hours technically. Looking forward to delving into some notes I've got in front of me and just almost reliving the last year on a more selfish note. As I always say, I'm recording this to see myself in a year's time or in 10 years' time and look back and be like, right, how did I grow to be the person I am in that present moment watching the video? And I think it's really cool. And I suggest and advise everyone to do this, whether it's public or not. I like sharing it publicly because I believe I can maybe inspire some other people to do it, which is pretty cool to try and help someone improve their life or improve their memories of themselves. Because I don't think enough of us take advantage of the technology we have. We can record videos. We can actually listen to ourselves back in the future, and it's cool. So without wasting any more time, we're going into it. As I said, new hair, new chair. Oh, it rhymes as well. New clothes. I think for me, the last year, if I reflect, it's been really good. It's been probably, and probably I do say this most times, been one of the most influential years in terms of growth for me personally in every aspect of life. I've become healthier. I'm hitting a lot of new PBs in the gym, which is nice. I've stayed and almost, I want to say mastered, but I've become really consistent in good habits and been really good at removing bad habits, apart from drinking coffee, of course. And it's nice to see improvements in your life when each and every day you're doing the monotonous routine, but actually when you zoom out and you can see from 11th of October 2023 to 11th of October 2024, you can actually see the changes. And that's very rewarding, especially when we live in a world filled with short term pleasures. Delaying it is really hard. That delayed gratification is really hard, but it's so sweet when you actually value or almost accept and be able to view it from the future time. So that's one of the main things I've seen. I've got a list as I always do in the videos, and just going to go through some points that sprung to mind over the last week when I was reflecting on making this video. I think for me, also touching on other aspects of my life, I've been continuing doing my accounting exams, done some more bookkeeping exams, started doing my own bookkeeping stuff, started my own company this year. Trading, I've been profitable for the last 4 or 5 months, all over summer, going into autumn now. I think it's everything's slowly clicking, and I think it's really nice and rewarding for myself. To if we look at the 18-year-old or 19-year-old self, that person would be proud of where I am today, but I also understand and accept that the person in 5 years' time, when they're 30, would would be very grateful for what I'm doing right now. And so that's the thing I always have in the back of my mind. I'm constantly thinking, right, I need to keep progressing no matter how small it is in where I want to go. Like I said, I touched on fitness already and the trading and all that career stuff. But for me, it's about chasing that fulfilling life. If I'm feel like I'm making progress in different aspects, enjoying life, I'm living that fulfillment that I want to. I think my main goal in the next couple of years is definitely to try and help more people. I think at the moment, one analogy that stuck in my head was when you go on an airplane and they say, in case of a crash, always put on your oxygen mask first before anyone else. And that's the mindset that's I've unconsciously adopted over the last year, I want to say, maybe even 11, 10 months, because I realized when I went to that trip in Indonesia and Bali that you really just have to husker down. I think that's the word, or hunker down, where you need to make sure that you have everything in your life set and you have your routines, you have your backup plan, you have not even backup plan, you just have your wits about you. You understand who you are, what you want to do, and establish yourself firmly before you can actually help others. So I've made sure my gas mask is on or oxygen mask is on, and now I'm able to, going forward, I think this year, not right now, but going into next year in 2025, I can start to branch out and help others and try new avenues while I grow everything that I'm currently doing right now. So that's the main plan. 24 has been, like I said, a very influential year. However, I'm super excited to continue growing. I think as you get older, you obviously get wiser, and the experiences you get to experience when you're older, just because you have more access to resources the more you grow, is cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't have anything really that I can share myself right now that is new. Hopefully, going to to Asia again next year. That'd be good. That's on the plan or on the cards. We've got, like I said, trading going well as well, and career wise, we'll see where it takes me. So that's my main steps. Fitness is obviously always going to be a thing for me. So if I jump into right in front of me the notes, the first point that actually came to mind was I'm more accustomed to being alone and or isolated, and I've really felt that over the summer where people that aren't accustomed to themselves, they're never going to be truly happy, right? And I've reiterated this. I've reiterated this over and over again throughout a lot of videos, where if you really aren't happy with yourself, and just mentioned earlier, if you don't know who you are or what you want or why you want that, like what's your why? There's another video I made. What's your why? If you don't know that, you're never going to truly be happy sitting here in silence. And there's been times this year where I've just sat and done nothing, as in literally just sat with my thoughts and just embraced them. And I've really become accustomed to that. And I think when you're on a path where you're not the traditional path and you want to do your own thing and you're constantly doing your own thing, you are quite lonely because no one else is with you. And as humans, we're a very social species, right? Obviously, some people are outliers here and there, but majority of the time we thrive when we're around people, and I think I do as well. But I've also come to accept and become accustomed to being isolated because I think that's where I can reflect on what's happened, whether that's throughout the day, throughout the week, or throughout the month. I'm I understand that you need to be by yourself to actually collect your thoughts and collect what's actually gone on. You can't properly process things, well, whatever that may be. Even your day, for example, you can't process that if you're constantly with someone. You have to be by yourself to sit there, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. Just process the day. Realize, right, this is what I did, this is what happened, and pick it apart and let your brain explore what happened. It's very magical, your brain, and I don't think we utilize it enough. I watched the film Lucy, I believe it's called, where they talk about we use 10% of our cerebral part of our brain. I probably don't know a lot about that. I need to learn a bit more, but it really fascinated me that we only use 10%. I need to actually fact check that as well. But I'm assuming the film wouldn't tell a lie, and that if we only use roughly 10% of our brain, what are we missing out on? And the film obviously goes into some crazy depth, but I think for me, it's keeping that open mind of I understand we'll never be able to hit, and we don't want to hit anything above 20%, let alone 15. So it's it's just keeping reiterating back to what I'm saying. It's keeping an open mind of things and being able to use our mind as much as we can to that 10% barrier that we have, and just make sure that it's keeping active. Don't keep it still. Don't let it be an old car that's just left in the garage and not being used. Drive it around. Make sure you're using it and embrace everything around you. I think really important for me that stood out. So yeah, being accustomed to being alone, definitely one thing that I'm happy with. I love hanging out with myself. Maybe a bit too much, you could argue, but yeah. Next point was taking full responsibility of my life and going full throttle on what I want to do. No one's going to save you, nor no one is going to live the life that you want to. Unique. So let's break this down real quick into 2 points. Taking full responsibility of my life. So I've made another video previously, 2 years ago, on this, where taking accountability or responsibility, one and the same, is the biggest thing that I've done this year, because I realized people tell you this all the time. You need to take responsibility, you need to be in charge of your own actions, you need to be accountable. But what no one tells you is how. You can be told this and that, but until you fully grasp how you do that in your current situation, and that's why I put unique, because everyone's situation is so unique that there's not one shoe that fits all size, or one shoe that fits all. So for me, it's about experimenting as much as you can. I really, really want everyone to understand you should always experiment as much as you can with anything and everything until you find what you like and what you're good at naturally. Most people are naturally good at some things. So once you find that, you go all in on it. That's why I mentioned the full throttle. You need to maximize your effort into that thing and realize if you want to live a fulfilling life, you're in control of that. Not your friends, not your family, not your partners. You have to accept and be in control of your actions, be in control and accept that you are responsible for what's going to happen today, in 10 years' time, 20, 30, the rest of your life. You get to control that. And if you let life take you away and whisk you away as it does with most of us, you'll never live that fulfilling life that you want to. And that's why I emphasize unique, because every single person is very unique. There's not one person on earth that will live the exact same life you do. So that's an advantage, not a disadvantage. It sounds scary because when we talk about the previous point, where humans are social creatures, we want to do the same as other people. And that's what keeps us in this bubble where, oh, if he's doing that, I should do that. That's why you see a lot of your friends or people that you hang out with do very similar things because you all want to be together. Being together and that togetherness is comforting, is very comfortable. But to grow and to change, you need to be uncomfortable in certain situations. You can't always be comfortable, and therefore doing the same thing as everyone else isn't always a good thing. Just as if you're trying to live someone else's life to be comfortable or to feel like that togetherness feeling, you're not going to be truly fulfilled because you're unique to the person to your left and to your right. So until you accept that you need to be unique and actually take responsibility and not just drift in the wind and with life, you won't ever be truly fulfilled and therefore happy or content with life. And until then, yeah, you won't have that peace that you want. And I think finding that inner peace comes from all of this, comes from chasing that fulfillment, comes from whatever your why is. I don't know, I can't tell you what your why is. You have to find out yourself. But that's why I always push, try as much as you can. Really, really helps because once you experiment with a lot of things, you realize, wow, this actually resonates me with a lot more than XYZ. So me accepting that this year is why I'm here today, as in the last 6 months for me in terms of trading have gone exceptionally well. I've broken a lot of mental barriers, and it's not a hidden, or sorry, it is a hidden battle. No one can see that but me. So it's hard to explain to people what you go through, and that's why I just keep it at that. It's a hidden battle. Everyone goes through their own ones, but for me, I'm very grateful and accepting where I am now and where I get to go in the future, which is awesome. If we look down here, the next point, I mentioned this before, I'm in the best shape and mindset of my life, dedicated to persistence. You can't succeed without it, despite consistency, positive attitude, and hard work. And I actually wrote some tweets on this as well because I think it's persistence for me is what separated my 24-year-old self to my 19-year-old self. I I was persistent, but not as persistent I am now, and that persistence has grown each year. And when I compare my 24-year-old self to my 19-year-old self, obviously the biggest factor is time. I've had an extra 5 years to get and grow that skill set because being persistent is the number one trait to have to succeed. However you want to view success, I like viewing success as fulfillment in life. And if I gave up at hurdle 1, we wouldn't be recording this video. If I gave up at hurdle 10, we probably wouldn't be recording this video. And to reiterate the point, if I gave up a hurdle 100, we'd be recording this video, but I wouldn't be saying the stuff I'm saying. And so what I'm trying to reiterate again is every single person will go through a hurdle, whether it's 10, 100, 1,000. I believe people, there's no number that you can put. It's infinite hurdles. There's hurdles daily, weekly, monthly, different aspects of your life. And it's being persistent, being knocked down and continuing to stand up despite what people say, what the odds are against you, is such a good trait to have and such a mental fortitude. It shows that you're extremely strong and so, yeah, strong wills that no matter what's thrown your way, you accept it and you move on. And that to me is why I'm here today. And I think if people can almost train that themselves, that's why I'm in the best shape. Like I said, that's why I'm in the best mindset, because no one wants to go to the gym every single day. I don't want to go to the gym every single. I don't go to the gym every single day, but I try my absolute best to go minimum 3 times a week and push my body 3 times a week, 4, 5. It varies, but I always push myself despite not wanting to go. And that persistence of not giving in to the comforts, not giving in to, oh, I'll just stay in. And that keeping that momentum is what's really crucial. As soon as you lose momentum, that's when the persistence, or using that persistence to your side, is even harder. I liked the analogy that I wrote about the other day, where momentum's like a snowball, right? They always say it's a snowball effect, where if you push a snowball down a hill, a snowy hill, it starts picking up loads of snow, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's almost like a boulder, or is a boulder. For me, you want to be that snowball, but you don't want to be in front of it where it's the momentum's pushing you down. It's almost you're running away from the momentum, right? You're in front of that snowball, it's getting bigger and bigger, and you're not in control of it. You want to be behind it. You want to be the one pushing it down the hill and being in control of the momentum. So, for example, with the gym, I'm in control of my momentum. I've gone, for example, in the week, I go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and I keep doing that. And imagine the snowball going down the hill. And instead of me missing a whole week or 2 weeks, and then me going in front of the snowball and it starts going out of control, I always make sure to jump back and get in behind that snowball again and get it back in control. And I think it's really important and vital for people to grasp that. Persistence is so, so, so vital. Like I mentioned here, it doesn't matter if you're consistent, it doesn't matter if you have a positive attitude or if you're really hardworking. I'd like to think I am of those 3 skills or those 3 traits as well. But without persistence, none of those matter, because I'd give up. I could be so positive about a certain situation, but since it's hard, or since I've been given a failure 3 times, I've given up. You have to keep trying despite the failures. Embrace and accept you're going to fail throughout life. But the beauty of it is that you get given another chance. So don't ever waste it. Another last couple points that I have for me, my main growth has been from questioning the norm and pushing myself even on the days/weeks that were bad. And that to me links again with persistence, right? If I break down that first point, questioning the norm, I think, is always vital. And by that, I just mean keep asking why. We've talked about this in my previous videos that I've uploaded on this Inside the Mind of an X-year-old. But questioning everything and anything that you do or I've been told or that society does is a great way to learn. Asking questions is the best way to learn, especially the 3-lettered WHY. Why? Why do you do why do you do this? Why do you do that? It helps you not only keep your brain active and learning more, but it helps you live your life in a way that closer to how you want to live your fulfilling life. You don't know how to live your life yet that is fulfilling until you try all these new things. And me asking why or you asking why will keep you learning about new things, keep you learning about new topics. And that is the best way to grow and to learn and to keep chasing that fulfillment that you deserve. Because we all deserve fulfillment in some way or another, but it's just so unique that I can't give you a one-step formula. And pushing myself in the days/weeks that were bad, that comes down to the ebbs and flows that I talked about before, where everyone goes through ebbs and flows. You will always have a bad week, you will always have a bad month, you'll always have a bad day. But trying to push through those days and doing what you want to do on those days, despite it being against the odds, is what will set you apart from your previous self, from your peers, if you want to compare yourself, or from whoever. So being able to accept you're having a bad day, but still push that little bit is insane, because that means on your good days, you're going to be able to push even further up. And that's absolutely crucial in growth. Avoid stagnation at all costs and do that through pushing yourself through those bad days. I've had a lot of bad days this year and a lot of bad weeks actually. Thankfully, I haven't had a whole bad month, but I've had a lot of bad weeks and days. And it's just, as soon as you realize it's going to be a bad one, you accept it and try your absolute hardest. And don't put that pressure yourself to make it a good week. Just get through it and push through and see what the wind brings you, because you never know. It can actually end pretty positively. The last 2 points that I'd like to talk about, three, are mentioning back off the bad weeks I've just talked about. I noticed the bad weeks, accepted them quicker, and made the most of them where I could, while pushing myself more on the good weeks. And that's what I just mentioned. The ebbs and flows where you push yourself a little bit more just on the bad weeks, and wow, when the good weeks come, you're like, wow, this is the growth and the ease that I need. And so just keep embracing it, keep going with the ebbs and flows. Taking the risks has been taking risks in general has been at the forefront of my mind due to getting older. Younger you are, the more risk and higher level of uncertainty you can take without losing as much. And the irony is, you have as less responsibility, but you want to take more responsibility. So if I break this down for everyone who's confused, including myself originally, taking risks at our age is really important, right? If we don't continue to take risks, we won't grow. It's about getting out of that comfort zone. You don't ever take risks in a comfort zone. You're comfortable. You're happy. Well, you think you're happy. And I think the most growth that we see in humans is when we're out the comfort zone. That's how change and growth are all synoptic, where they're both this one and the same, right? To see growth, you need to see change. To see change, you'll see growth. So using that to your advantage, take those risks, whatever it may be. Go take that trip for a week by yourself to, I don't know, Azerbaijan. Go see the city, explore, learn more about yourself, about traveling, about people, about culture. If you keep pushing yourself out your comfort zone, you'll grow as a person. You'll become more confident. You'll be like, wow, this is what the world looks like from this country. And now you'll be even more grateful for what you have potentially, or grateful for what they have, or for what the world offers. It's an endless cycle of thoughts that your brain can keep processing through when you're by yourself. So taking those risks is important. Go start that business that you want to. Go continue drawing and sell those drawings, or do whatever you want to do. It's so, like I said, it's so unique to each person that I can't give you an answer. I can just give you examples that may resonate with you more. And the reason why I'm pushing this more, especially if you're under the age of, I don't think there's an age, to be honest with you. I think it's just what stage at life you're at. If you're if you've got children, I understand, I've been told it makes it harder, and it makes sense. You have more responsibility when you have children. If you own a house, you have more responsibility. So if you have none of these things and you're 30, 40, perfect. Go all in. What what do you realistically have to lose? You only really, as cliche as it always sounds, you only have this life once. Why are you so, ask yourself why. Why are you so against trying what you want to do? Judgment of others, fear of failure, who cares? Just do you. That's the most important thing to grasp out of this beautiful life. And that irony comes from, you have the less responsibility, but you need to take more responsibility for your actions, right? So when you have no children, you have no house, you have that, well, you have less responsibility. But the irony is, you need to, I mentioned before, accept more responsibility of your life to actually grow and to continue pushing forward. And the last point that I wanted to leave myself with, or you guys watching as well, and it's a question as well, is, if all these people can do it, why can't I? Why can't you? If Bob, Steve, Jane, Johnson can all do it, they can all do what you want to do, they can all be living the perceived life that you want to be living, why can't you do it? If they can pass all their exams, if they can run the business they want to, if they can play the instrument that you want to, or that they want to, why can't you? Seriously, why can't you? Because that to me was the flip, or the switch in my brain that changed when this year, when I started really improving at trading. I accepted that if everyone around me, or people that I see on social media can do it, or people that I listen to podcasts can do it, what's really separating me from them? I know I'm hardworking. I put in the work. I know I have a positive attitude. I show it every day. And all of these factors kept going through my head saying, well, if I have all this, what's actually stopping me? And the thing that you may come to be surprised about is yourself. It's always you against you. But you were stopping yourself from achieving what you wanted to. Everyone around you's done it. Yeah, they may have imposter syndrome. And to be honest, I think most people that are successful have imposter syndrome because they can't believe that they're still living the life they've dreamt of. So ignore the imposter syndrome and just continue asking yourself, if everyone around me can do it, why can't I? And keep pushing yourself because you can do it. If you have the same brain in terms of fully functioning, you have your arms, you have your legs, you have the ability to walk around, breathe, and drink and eat, you can do it. It'll take more work. Some people have better cards dealt to them when they're given the blessing of life compared to others. But compare it to your situation. If they're doing it, look at your situation. What steps can you take to get from A to B to B to C to C to D? Because there's always a way, there's always a road. It's not going to be straight. Some people's are straight, some people's are wiggly. It doesn't matter what their road is particular. It's just about accepting, right, they've done it. I can do it too. And once you get that in your head, the world really is, as cliche as it is, your oyster. So, leaving it on that note, it's been a successful year for me. I'm really happy with the growth I have. I'm super thankful for everyone in my life and super grateful for where I am and what I'm currently doing. And I hope to continue pushing forward, continue making videos, continue just influencing people in the most positive way I can. I think there's a lot of negativity out there, there always will be. And if you can find a way to impact people's life on a good note, that sits well with me. So that's what I'm going to be striving to do this year. It's been a while 24, but I'm embracing 25. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to go. I'm on go mode. So welcome everyone to 2024 still, but welcome everyone to my life or inside of the mind of a 24-year-old going into 25. So inside the mind of a 25-year-old, and it's been a good one. Until next time, Spencer, we'll see you on the next one.